Okay, welcome to American Literature 2 Week 1. The point of this video is to just unpack how you should complete all the tasks that you have for this week. Now, even as I say that, it sounds really intimidating when I say all the tasks. It's not. You're going to do fine. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is the homepage. You should have landed here right when you came to Canvas. Make sure you watch the intro video. It unpacks the syllabus and the way class is going to work if you haven't watched that already. So watch that video right now if you haven't. I'm going to click on weekly modules. And once I click on that, this is going to start to be populated with different weeks that we have throughout the course. Right now, there's only one week, which is really nice. So all you have to do is click on this link right here. A good man is hard to find. It's going to give you a very brief intro. So for week 1, we'll read what might be Flannery O'Connor's most well-known work, A Good Man is Hard to Find. So after exploring the text and the background resources, think through what O'Connor's overall argument is within the story. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the character's understanding of goodness, and you'll notice this. So whenever you see that word come up, anything that pertains to the title in literature should make you perk up a little bit. When people ask questions about what makes a good person or why someone is good, pay close attention to those discussions. Now, what I want you to do is reflect on those ideas. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Why or why not? What commentary does the story make that you feel is uniquely American? Now, we know that Flannery O'Connor is a Southern writer, so there's kind of that Southern flair that should resonate with a lot of us living in Texas. And ask yourself, what about this feels uniquely, specifically American? Throughout this week, you're not only going to read A Good Man is Hard to Find, you'll also brush up on Flannery O'Connor's biography. She's a really interesting person. She has a lot of ideas regarding faith and how faith should play out in the real world, which are some of the ideas that are explored in the story. And she also contracted an illness at a young age that deeply impacted her overall demeanor in life and her ideas in her writing. So make sure you explore those ideas and are familiar with them before you start the assignment. You're going to think through all these big questions, and then you're going to compose a short composition that responds to the story and reflect on how the themes of it intersect with your own identity. So this is going to cause you to think critically and reflect upon yourself. How does this story help you understand who you are, and how does it help you understand America in a new light or a different light, or shed light on what you already believe? Now, if you need help, feel free to message me through Canvas or sync up with me through the big blue button. It looks like it's closed out right there, but you can click on it right there. I'll be available to discuss and talk with you through the big blue button during my office hours. Okay? Or they're called student success hours now. Student support hours. One of those. I'm here to help you. So later in the week, usually around Wednesday or Thursday, I'll post a follow-up video that's going to help you along with the story if you're feeling stuck. I know lots of times when people read literature, they think, what did I just read? I'm so confused. Take a deep breath. You're not alone. It's okay. I have a degree in this stuff, and there's tons of times where I read a story and I think, wait, what? Does not mean you are dumb. It means that there's probably something going on in your subconscious that seems cool. In fact, when most people read this story, the response is, whoa, something happened and I don't know what it was. And I've read the story so many times and I still kind of have that sense. So you're not dumb. And reading and writing are the same as any type of skill, whether it's working out, basketball, dancing, playing an instrument. It's just a muscle that you have to flex and move and grow in order to do it better and better and better. So give yourself grace and understand that I'm here to help you. There's a wealth of information on the internet that can help you out. I don't know how many times as an undergrad or as a graduate student, I was like, analysis. Good man is hard to find, because I had no idea what I was talking about. And then letting someone else kind of explain an understanding, it really can go a long way. So don't be embarrassed or shy to do that. Okay, so here's the text. And this is the whole, ooh, that's weird and wonky. This is the whole book. So we're going to be reading a few short stories from this book, A Good Man is Hard to Find, and Other Stories. That's the name of the book. And what we're reading this week is the specific story, A Good Man is Hard to Find. So if you want to access the PDF of that, you can click on it right there. And some people like printing out the particular story. Great, that's fine. You can do that. You can read the PDF if you want. If you have an ebook reader or a tablet, and some people like reading off of their phone, you can download the EPUB file. So if you have an iPhone, iBooks is able to read this. That's the ebook application that's kind of standard for iPhones. If you have an Android, you can download the Nook app, Nook, and that should read that file perfectly fine. And a lot of people like doing that, just having it on their phone and kind of browsing through it. A lot of students have mentioned to me in the past that they like putting it on their phone because they can just kind of read through the stories or whatever the assigned reading is whenever they have a spare moment. You're at the doctor's office, you're waiting in line at the grocery store, pull out your phone and get your reading done there. Okay? So if you feel stuck, here's an analysis from a really great website I like called Lit Charts. That's going to give you a summary of the story, analysis. It'll talk about symbols, key quotes, things like that. And then I want you to watch these two videos. There's one video right here, why you should read Flannery O'Connor, and then this is a short biography about Flannery O'Connor that'll give you context. So all of these things I want you to take in, to think through them critically before you begin your assignment. And to do that, it's kind of down here. Raise my head up a little bit. You'll just click next. It'll take you to the next page. And here it is. Here's the assignment. After reading the story and exploring the resources for this week, compose a response that answers the following questions. So here's your prompt. Just answer these questions. What argument does the story make? That's really broad. And understand that I'm not looking for a specific answer, right? There's been so many things that students have said in response to this story that have blown my mind. As long as you can support it with text evidence and from the text itself, you can come up with a wealth of different ideas for what the story is arguing. But I'm asking you, after reading the story, after understanding Flannery O'Connor better, after diving into the analysis, maybe after listening to me or another video that I've submitted to you later on in the week, explain it, what do you think the key argument is? Okay? And then I want you to answer, how does this story help us understand America and what it means to be an American? And then lastly, consider your own identity. And what I mean by that is think about your own culture, your own beliefs, your own background, whether that's religious or political or whatever it might be that contributes to giving you a sense of self, special interests, geography, language, whatever it might be. Consider your own identity and respond to the story. Do you agree with O'Connor's arguments and ideas? Why or why not? Now, in order to earn full credit for this assignment, you must demonstrate that you've given significant effort. And I think you know when that happens. So lots of times I'll have students just kind of throw a response out there that really could be a generic response to any story. This story helped me understand what it means to be American by causing me to think differently about what it means to be American. When I think about myself, I understand being American is really tricky and really complex sometimes. The story helped me understand that. So understand that you're not saying anything, right? Like that's not saying anything. You need to make sure that you are using the story to respond, right? You also need to make sure that you're proofreading for grammatical and syntactical errors. I get tons of questions about grammar. I know grammar can be stressful. Take a deep breath. I want to assure you, I'm not looking for grammatical errors. I'm looking for the content of what you're saying. As long as I'm getting the content, I'm happy. What I want to make sure doesn't happen is that your grammar or your syntax, meaning the structure of your writing, is not getting in the way of the content. As long as I am not distracted, I'm a happy camper. And usually you can correct all those distracting errors if you just proofread it once, maybe twice. Maybe you're crazy and you have a spouse or a friend or a sibling read it over. I would highly suggest that. If there's one thing I can encourage you that can actually make your grade a lot better, is having someone else proofread your work. So please, please, please do that. You need to reveal to me that you have a thorough understanding of the text, right? So that example that I just gave you a second ago is really not revealing any type of sophisticated understanding of the text. There's no mention of specific characters. There's no mention of specific scenes. There's no mention of specific events. There's no reference to the author. There's no reference to the author's history or background. There's no reference to any other video or resource that I assigned you. It's super generic. And a key rule, I tell this to my composition students all the time, when you're thinking about writing, always think specifics stimulate and generalities bore. If you're being general, if you can say a statement about any story or any event, chances are you're being too general. Make it more specific. Focus in. Talk about a specific character. Describe a specific scene. Use an embedded quote, and that's the last thing that you need to do. Make sure you have 200 words, which is nothing. And then use at least 2 embedded quotes from the text that enhance your argument, not just summarize or display an event. So what I want to tell students is that you want to make sure that you're giving me a quote that's actually furthering your argument about what the argument the story is making, or how it helps you understand what it means to be an American, or how it sheds light on your own identity, or what you agree or disagree with. Don't use a quote that says something like, the grandmother was mad, right? Like it doesn't shed light on anything that you're arguing. So don't embed a quote just to embed a quote. Whenever you're pulling a quote from the story, ask yourself, why am I using this quote? And is it actually helping my composition? Okay. So what you'll do is, in your view, the student view, there will be a text box that's down here. You can type it right into that text box. What I would encourage you to do, though, is actually to open up a Word document, whether that's Microsoft Word or Google Docs, and compose your response there, and then copy and paste it into Canvas. That'll go a long way in terms of allowing you to craft it, edit it, revise it, and I don't know how many times students are like, well, I wrote my response on Canvas, but then Canvas lost it. Great. It happens, and I'm really sorry. But if you listen to me now and do it on a Word document, it'll be a lot more easy. It will be a lot easier for you to submit without any problems, okay? And then once you've submitted that assignment, you're done for the week. You are done, which is exciting. That's not much. You can do this. All right, so that's everything. Make sure to contact me via Canvas or on the big blue button. Anything that you need, please make sure to contact me, and I would love to help you out. All right, that is all I have. So have a great week.